And now there's an idea that we can send a robot in to do this work on behalf of the police. There are so many arguments against this, ranging from you give someone a tool, the tool begs to be used, right? That might be used originally only occasionally, but then over time people get desensitive. Overuse, because when you create that physical distance between the officer and the victim of the use of force, it creates this false distance that makes killing the individual easier. We don't want it to be easy. We don't want to create that distance and that removal from the emotional impact in an individual's life. And this fact that a robot simply will not be able to make these judgment calls in the same way with full situational awareness that a police officer would be able to make that judgment. The list goes on and on. Hacking, there's so many arguments on why would we open this Pandora's box.
People in the media have reported that we are asking for new technology. We have had this capability, and we've had the ability to use this robot for 11 years.
What would be the thinking where using a robot would outweigh using de-escalation techniques, using a person to go into the situation and use all of their judgment and being able to see 360 degrees. There's nobody in the way that could be a potential unintentional victim. All of these things that a person controlling a robot from a distance might not be able to do.
So in that situation,
did they send the robot in with a phone first to see if that was a way to de-escalate? I'm just saying.
It's possible we could send in with the phone, but if it doesn't de-escalate, we still have our tool.
I'm not against robots being used for the purposes that you talk about, bringing in a phone so that another police officer isn't unsafe, de-escalating, doing reconnaissance, like all of, the ways in which you use it every single day. We are specifically talking about what the implications are if we start to depend on robots to kill people that are potentially dangerous instead of human officers who have had training, who don't have distance, who can see 360 degrees and use their life judgment to decide the right move. All of these things that using a robot takes away those important human abilities that only humans have and that officers are trained for. I just want to end by saying, at the very least, and again, I wouldn't even vote for this, but it's better than this vague outweighs. If a majority of my colleagues think that this is a good idea, which again, I don't, then at least officers, I would put language that you would use this unmanned, remotely piloted, powered ground vehicle, and this is section C of the legislation on page 8, when there is immediate a threat to life and officers cannot subdue the threat after using alternative force options or de-escalation tactics. So forcing you to at least try to protect people before using this new weapon. I think that is a safer option, but again, I wouldn't vote for that either, because I think we should absolutely not allow robots to use force in San Francisco. We got an email from Catherine Scott, who lives in the Outer Sunset yesterday and who's worked in robotics all of her life, who holds a master's degree in CS with a focus in robotics from Columbia University, who says that the vast majority of professional and experts in her field do not think this is a good idea. She says currently no meaningful laws or best practices exist governing the use of weaponized robots. Last month, numerous robotic companies, including Boston Dynamics, Open Robotics, ClearPath Robotics, Unitree, and many others, signed a pledge to never weaponize the robots they built. This is the beginning of something that's going to become more and more common in society. And this supervisor believes, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, I'm not, a leftist, I am a leftist progressive, but I'm also do everything that I do using reason and argument and clearly articulated positions that I don't appreciate being dismissed as, the ace, just attacking the police. I in no means want to attack the police with this. I want to protect our entire society. And I very much worry about the use of this technology. And I will repeat one last time that it's not the same to use force against a person through a mechanized object where you are not physically in the room and don't have a 360 view and can use your judgment that only humans have. This is a big deal. This is opening up a Pandora's box that could change our society in a significant way. Will it do it tomorrow? Probably not. Will it do it over time? Yes. And so I don't believe that this is something we should take lightly at all. And so what I am saying is this should not become the preferred way that we take down people that are committing crimes. That before we use a robot, which is not the same as a human being, that we should at least try to use the human beings and de-escalation and all the other numerous weapons at the disposal of the police and everything that the police do day in and day out first. That's important, that this should not become our fallback. And I think that is important to state in this policy. And so again, I would request that we just vote on this. Again, I'm gonna vote for both of the amendments, but then I'm not gonna vote for the underlying policy. So I'm just trying, in case this passes, I don't think we should I don't think we should ever weaponize robots to use against human beings. I think it's morally and practically the wrong way to go as a society. But if we're going to do that, we should at least make the policy better. So I would ask, we have made a motion in a second, the file has been divided, we should vote on the two amendments and move on with our lives.